Good morning, everyone.
Esperamos se encuentren muy bien.
We hope you're doing really good.
Gracias por estar acompañándonos un día
Thank you
más
for
en
accompanying
el
us one
ciclo
more
de
day and this
AIcceleratora.
cycle of in
Mientras damos unos
artificial intelligence
minutitos
accelerator, and
para que todos
we're going to give
empiecen
some minutes
a
while
sumarse
if
a la
one of you
sesión de hoy, a
starts
la
adding
sala.
yourself to the today's
Y antes de
session,
dar
to
comienzo
join in the
formal a
room
la actividad,
before starting formally
como
this
siempre,
activity.
les invitamos a que
As
se vayan
usual, I want
presentando
you
en el chat.
to
Cuéntenos de dónde son,
introduce
sus
yourselves on the
nombres, el
chat.
nombre de
Tell
sus
us where you
empresas, qué
are, your
productos y
name, the
servicios
name of your
ofrecen.
companies, what type of
Así
products and services you
que les
offer.
recordamos también que la
So we want
sesión
to remind
es
you that this
traducida
session is
al inglés,
interpreted
o sea
to
que la
the
pueden
English
escuchar en
language.
inglés o en
You may
español.
hear it in
Así que
English
los
or in
invitamos a que
Spanish.
seleccionen el
So we
canal
invite you to
correspondiente
select the
en la parte
corresponding channel
inferior
in the
de
bottom
la
part of the
pantalla,
screen.
colocando el canal deseado. Good afternoon,
Selecting the
everyone. Thanks
channel
for
you
joining
desire.
us to this fourth day of the AIcceleratora training cycle. Meanwhile, we wait until all the attendees are online. We invite you to introduce yourself, to mention where are you joining us today. Also mention the name of your companies, which products or services are you offering. And remember that this session is being translated into English and Spanish. So we invite you to choose the correct channel in the bottom part of the Zoom screen and select between English or Spanish options. We are going to wait one more minute until we start the session. Bueno, acá vemos que tenemos gente de
We're seeing
Washington,
that we have people
D.C.,
from
tenemos de
Washington,
Brasil, de
D.C.,
Guatemala,
Brazil,
de
Guatemala,
Colombia,
Colombia,
Perú,
Peru,
México,
Mexico,
Venezuela,
Venezuela,
Ecuador, creo que ya mencioné,
Ecuador, that I
Nicaragua,
already mentioned, Nicaragua,
Chile,
Chile,
Miami,
Miami,
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Muchas gracias a República
Thank
Dominicana.
you to Dominican Republic.
¿Dónde más? Paraguay. Guatemala creo que ya
Paraguay,
mencioné.
Guatemala, I think I did mention.
Bueno, muchas gracias a todos Panamá, El
Thank you
Salvador.
to
Bueno,
all
como
Panama,
siempre,
Salvador. As usual,
los ciclos de capacitaciones de Conecta
these
América
training
son
cycles from Connect
sumamente
America are
representativos de
really
toda la región, así que
representatives of all the regions. Thank you
gracias a todos por acompañarnos en este
to
cuarto
all
día.
to join us
Vamos
on this
a
fourth
comenzar
day.
ahora sí con la
We're
sesión.
going to start
Mi
with
nombre es
session. My name
María Florencia
is
Collados,
Maria
soy parte
Florencia
del equipo
Collado,
de Conecta
part of
Américas, la
the
plataforma de
Connect
vinculación
America's
empresarial
team, a bonding
del BID,
platform
del Banco
for
Interamericano de
companies
Desarrollo.
of the IDB,
Les
Inter-American
damos la
Development
bienvenida
Bank,
una vez
and
más
we
al cuarto día
welcome
de
you once
capacitaciones del
again to
ciclo
the
IA
fourth day of
Aceleradora
training
2.0
of the
que organizamos en
IA
conjunto con la International Chamber of
Accelerator
Commerce, la ICC,
2.0. We're
con el
doing and
apoyo
joined
de
with the
empresas
Chamber of
como
Commerce and
Microsoft,
support of
Google,
companies like
Salesforce, Amazon
Microsoft,
Web
Google,
Services y
Salesforce,
Mercado Libre,
Amazon Web Services,
que
and
nos
Mercado Libre
asistieron y nos están
that
apoyando
are
en esta iniciativa con sus
supporting
speakers.
us in
Así
this
que
initiative
gracias al
with their
público por
speakers.
sumarse en este
Thank
cuarto
you to
día,
all of you who
penúltimo
join
día del
us on this
ciclo,
fourth day.
y a los speakers que nos estuvieron y nos
And
están
we thank you to all the
acompañando
speakers that
también.
are accompanying us also.
Perdón que voy a repetir un
I'm
poco
sorry that I have to
que,
repeat
digamos,
a
el
little
objetivo del
bit
ciclo y
the
también que es Conecta
objective of
América,
the cycle
seguramente
is
que nos
and
vienen
about
acompañando
Connect
desde el lunes ya han
America's
escuchado
goal.
esto,
That's the
pero
maybe
también
you
nos gusta
heard this
decir
before,
que el
but
público se
we like to
renueva,
say
así
that
que
the public is being renewed. So what we want to
es una
tell you is
plataforma
what we're doing in
sumamente
Connect America,
interesante
because it's a very
para todas las
interesting
pymes
platform
y
for
pymes
all the
latinoamericanas, así que está
SMEs
bueno
and
que
all
puedan
the Latin
conocer
American
qué
SMEs.
herramientas
It's good for you
gratuitas,
to know
además,
what kind of free of
pueden
charge
encontrar en
tools
nuestra
you may
plataforma.
find in our
Conecta
platform.
Américas,
Connect
como les
Americas,
comentaba, es
as
la
I
mayor
mentioned,
plataforma de
is the
empresas de
largest
América Latina y el Caribe.
company
Fue
platform
creada en
from
el año
Latin America and the
2014
Caribbean. It was
por el
created in
BID,
2014 by the
con el apoyo
IDB
de
with the
empresas como
support of
DHL,
companies
Meta,
like
Silent,
DHL,
Google y
Meta,
Mastercard.
Silent, Google, and
Y tenemos como
MasterCard.
objetivo
And we
apoyar
have
a
as
las
an
empresas
objective to
de América
support
Latina y el
all the
Caribe en su
companies in
proceso
Latin
de
America and Caribbean and
internacionalización.
the
Como venimos diciendo siempre, queremos que puedan
internationalization
hacer
process.
más
As I mentioned
negocios y
before,
mejores
we
negocios,
wished you to
que
do
en caso de que
more
estén
and better
exportando,
business in case you're exporting,
intensifiquen sus exportaciones, y en
intensify
caso
your
de que aún no lo
exports,
hayan
and in
hecho,
case
empiecen a
you
dar sus
haven't done
primeros
it,
pasos.
start giving the
Todas las
first
herramientas
steps.
que nosotros
We
ofrecemos son
all the tools
gratuitas
that
y
we
van
offer
desde
are free,
cursos
and
de
they're from
capacitación, seminarios, workshops
training
como
courses,
como este
seminars,
ciclo.
workshops like this
También
cycle,
organizamos eventos de
and
matchmaking,
also we make
que son las tradicionales
matchmaking
ruedas de negocios de Conecta
events
Américas,
that is
como
traditional
Luxury
business
Bebidas, como
meetings
Outsource to Luck para el
for
sector
like
de
outsources to
servicios
love,
digitales,
for the
como Korea
digital
Lat, que es una
services, for Korea
multisectorial
Lab, that is a
para
multisectorial
fortalecer los vínculos económicos comerciales entre
to
nuestra
strengthen
región
the
y Corea
economical
del
bonds
Sur,
in our regions,
entre
and
otros tantos, pero bueno, estos
South
son los
Korea,
más
and among
emblemáticos.
some others,
De
but these
hecho,
are the most
vamos a
emblematic
estar
ones.
llevando
We
adelante los
are
días
going to
4 y 5 de diciembre en la ciudad de Buenos
do
Aires,
on December
Argentina,
4 and
Outsource to
5
Luck,
in Buenos Aires,
que es este
Argentina,
evento para
Answers to
servicios
Luck, that is
digitales,
this event for
que
digital
cuenta con una rueda de negocios y también con
platforms that
una
has
serie de paneles.
a meeting for
Así
business
que
and certain panels.
queremos
And we
que nos
want
sigan en nuestras redes,
you
que
to
se
follow us
inscriban
in our
en nuestra plataforma
social network,
de manera
enroll
gratuita
in
en
our program, in our platform, in a
www.conectaamericas.com,
free of charge,
y que sean parte de esta comunidad que cuenta actualmente
www.connectamericas.com,
con
and
más
be
de
part of this
700
community that actually
también
has more than
usuarios registrados.
750,000 users
Acá
registered.
están los datos de contacto en
Have
la página que
the
les acabo de
contact data,
mencionar,
and
pero ahí están los
also the
datos de
page that I
contacto
just mentioned, and
general de
also
Conecta Américas.
the general
Aquí están
contacts in
mis datos de contacto, mi
Connect
mail
America.
institucional y
Here,
mi perfil
my
de LinkedIn,
contact
así que
information and the
me pueden contactar
institution.
con cualquier consulta que
Then you
tengan
may
sobre
contact
Conecta
us
Américas, sobre este
with
ciclo
any
en
question
particular,
that you have
o
for Connect
simplemente para
Americas about
estar
this
en
cycle, or
contacto.
just simply to be in contact.
Como les comentaba, estamos en el cuarto día de
We
esta,
are
de
on
esta
the fourth
AIcceleratora
day
2.0.
of this
Venimos
Accelerator 2.0
conociendo un poco
with
más sobre la
artificial
inteligencia
intelligence,
artificial,
knowing a little bit
logrando
more
avanzar la
about
conectividad.
artificial
Como
intelligence.
venimos diciendo en
I
estos días, es
downloaded
un
the
término que está en
artificial
boca de
intelligence to
todos,
reality, because this
pero
is a
muchas veces no
term that is in
sabemos a
everybody's mouth, but
qué hacer
many times
referencia a la inteligencia
we don't know
artificial y
what is
cómo nos
the
puede ayudar
reference
en
about the
el día a día
artificial
de
intelligence and how can it
de
help
nuestras
in our
empresas, de
daily
nuestros
life, in our
emprendimientos.
companies
Entonces, la
and our
idea de este curso es
entrepreneurs.
que, como lo venimos diciendo desde el día lunes,
And so, since
entiendan,
I
entendamos
was
qué es la
mentioned
inteligencia
on Monday,
artificial
we
y qué
need to
herramientas
understand what the
concretas nos puede
artificial
ofrecer
intelligence is and what concrete tools can
generar
offer to
mayores contenidos,
generate
para generar
more
mejores y
content
mejores
and
ventas,
generate
para
more
facilitarnos el día a
rent
día de
to
tareas
facilitate
operativas
our daily life and
de
operative
nuestras empresas o
tasks for
emprendimientos,
our
para
companies,
proteger nuestros datos
to
también. El lunes, de
protect
hecho, hablamos sobre
our data
ciberseguridad,
also. On Monday, we
entre
spoke
otros tantos
about
temas que
cybersecurity,
venimos
among some
abordando.
other topics that
Los
we've been
speakers con los que venimos
treating.
contando, y
The
tenemos
speakers
hoy
that we've
también a
been
Roberto
having
y
today, we
mañana un
have
speaker de
Roberto,
Mercado
and
Libre,
tomorrow
la verdad es que
someone from
son
Mercado Libre.
profesionales de
These
primer
are
nivel que
professionals of
representan
highest
a
level that are
firmas líderes en el
representing
mercado
the
y que además tienen
free
una enorme
companies in the market,
trayectoria
and it has a
en esta
long
temática.
trajectory on these topics.
Así que bueno, nuevamente gracias hoy concretamente
Thanks
a
again
Roberto y a Lorena, que ahora los voy a
to
presentar porque nos
Roberto
están
and
acompañando
Lorena. I'm going to introduce them later, and they're
Algunos
going to be
avisos
supporting us
antes de
from
iniciar la sesión del
Microsoft.
día de hoy.
Some
Les
of the
recuerdo que todas las grabaciones se
announcements that
suben
I
a la
have to do,
plataforma de
all
Conecta
the
Américas.
recordings are going to be
Pueden
uploaded to the
escanear el
Connect Americas
código
platform.
y
You
ahí
may
tienen
scan the
acceso
QR code
a todas las
and you will
grabaciones.
have
A
access
la
to all the
vez, las
recordings.
mismas
At the same
están,
time,
se las estamos enviando de manera
we are going to
diaria
send
al
this
mail
the
en el cual
same
se inscribieron,
to
junto al
daily to
material
your
presentado
mail that you
por cada uno de
register,
los
as well as
speakers.
the material presented by each one of
Como
the
siempre les
speakers.
digo, recuerden por
And
favor
as usual, I
visitar
want you to remind you
la parte de
to
correo no
visit
deseado, porque posiblemente si no
spam,
les llegó puede llegar
because
a estar ahí
if you
porque,
didn't
bueno,
receive
se los mandamos
the
desde el
mail,
mail con el cual se
probably it would
inscribieron.
be there.
De todos modos, en caso de que aún tengan problemas para
Anyway,
encontrar
in
la
case
información, nos
you have
escriben o
issues
entran
to
directamente a la
find the
plataforma
information, please
y
write
ahí
us
se les
down
ayuda
or
la
enter
información.
to the platform and you will find the
La
information.
sesión, recuerden que
The
también
session,
contamos con un certificado de
also, we
participación.
have a
Mañana les vamos a
certification
indicar cómo
for your
gestionarlo
participation.
y
Tomorrow, we will
bueno, también
explain how
recuerden
to request it.
que nuestra
And
charla de
remember
hoy
that our
está a cargo de
today's speech
Microsoft
is
y vamos a
about
hablar
Microsoft,
cómo
and we're
realizar la
going
rutina
to talk
automatizando
how
tareas
to
claves
reinvent
con
routine
inteligencia
using
artificial.
key tasks with the
El speaker
artificial
de hoy va a ser
intelligence.
Roberto González.
The speaker is going to be Roberto
Roberto Casuriaga
González.
Gatti
Roberto
no se
and
pudo sumar
Casuria
por una cuestión
Gatti
de agenda, así que
was not able
Roberto va a
to
ser
be
nuestro
here
speaker de
because of
lujo.
the agenda,
Y para
but Roberto
contarles
is
un
going
poco
to
la
be our
metodología,
luxurious speaker and to tell you about the
recuerden que
methodology.
el speaker, que es
Remember
Roberto,
that the
va a hacer su
speaker in this
exposición
case, Roberto, is
y
going to
pueden
do his
hacernos
presentation,
llegar
and
las
you may be able
consultas
to
al chat
send your
o
requests and
simplemente a la
questions to
cajita de
the chat
preguntas y
or
respuestas
to
y
the
cuando Roberto termine
questions and
la
answers
presentación
box.
se las voy a
And
estar
after
leyendo.
Roberto's finished with the
Ahora
presentation, I'll
sin
be
más,
reading him the
quiero
questions.
contarles quién
Without
es
any other
Roberto.
delay, I want to
Roberto
mention who is
González
Roberto.
es director
Roberto
de Modern
Gonzalez,
Works
director of
Small
the Modern
Small and
Work
Medium
Small
Market
and Medium
de
Market
Latinoamérica, de
in Latin
Microsoft.
America from Microsoft.
Em, Déjenme contarles también un poco de
Let
su
me mention a
historia.
little bit about his
Tengo
background.
justamente aquí en el celular, porque
I
siempre lo
have it right
imprimo,
here in my cellular
pero
phone because I
una
always print it.
compañera me dice que
But
ya no
one
se
of
usa más la
my
impresión, así
colleagues,
que bueno,
they told me
lo
that
tengo
we
aquí
don't
en el
have to use
celular.
more printings. So I have it here in my cellular phone.
Bien. Bueno, Roberto es ingeniero con más de
Roberto is
39 años de
an
experiencia en
engineer with
marketing y ventas en el
39
sector
years
de
of
IT en América
experience in
Latina.
marketing and sales in
Ha
the
desempeñado cargos
inter-American,
directivos en empresas
Latin
líderes del sector
American area.
tecnológico,
He's
con
being
enfoque en el
a
crecimiento
leader
de
in
nuevas categorías de
technological
producto en
companies with
mercados
growth in the
latinoamericanos.
product in Latin
Actualmente
American
es el director
markets.
de ventas del
Actually,
área de
he is
solución de
a
Modern Works
sales
para
director
el
of
segmento
the
PYME en
solutions area
Latinoamérica,
for the
enfocado
SME
en
sector
ayudar a los
in Latin
clientes
America,
en la
focused
aceleración
to
de su
help
transformación
customers
digital y la
accelerating
opción
the
de
digital
inteligencia
transformation with the
artificial.
option of
Así
artificial
que,
intelligence.
Roberto, muchas
So,
gracias por tu
Roberto, thank you very
predisposición.
much
Para
for
nosotros
your
es un
disposition.
lujo
For us,
contar
it's a
con un
very
speaker de
honor
nivel
to have
profesional.
a
Así
speaker of
que
your level,
gracias
so
nuevamente y
professional.
te cedo la
Thank you very
palabra y el
much,
control
and
de la
give you
pantalla.
the room and the
Perfecto.
control of the
Muchísimas
screen.
gracias, María
Thank
Florencia.
you very
Gracias a
much,
todo el
Maria
mundo.
Florencia, and thank you to all
Entonces,
of
comparto
you.
mi pantalla.
Let me just share my screen.
Ok. Ok. Espero que ahí le estén viendo.
I hope you may be able to see it right there.
Todavía no.
Espera,
No
dame un
yet.
segundo.
Sí, sí.
Just a moment.
Share. Listo, creo que ahora sí, ¿verdad?
Ahora sí,
I believe
perfecto.
that you can see it now.
Vamos a comenzar con un video súper
We're
rápido
going to
y
start with a
de
really
ahí
fast
comenzamos.
video,
Gracias.
and then we start.
El sonido no se escucha.
Está, ya, permítanme un segundo.
We couldn't hear the sound.
Bueno, voy a pasar este slide porque... Un segundo. Ok.
I'm going to pass this
Hola a todos,
slide.
como ya mencionó María Florencia, bueno, mi nombre
As
es Roberto
Maria Florencia was
González,
mentioned,
yo
my name
trabajo
is
para
Roberto
Microsoft,
Gonzalo,
soy
and I work
director
for
de
Microsoft.
ventas para el segmento de
I'm a
pequeña y mediana
sales
empresa de
director
Microsoft
for
y me alegra mucho saber que aquí
small
hay
and
pequeñas y
medium
medianas
companies in
empresas de toda
Microsoft.
América
So I'm
Latina
really pleased to
y
know that we
concretamente
have
trabajo para el área de
small and
solución
medium
Modern
companies from
Work, que es
American
donde tenemos
Latin
toda
America,
la suite de
and I
productos
work
de
for all
Office,
the
Windows y por
solutions
supuesto
from
Copilot,
the
que es nuestra
Office, like
solución para
Microsoft
inteligencia
Office and
artificial. Pero
Copilot,
antes
that
que
is
nada,
our
muchas gracias
yeah,
al Banco
artificial
Interamericano de Desarrollo
intelligence
por la
platform.
invitación que nos
Thank
hicieron para poder
you to
platicar
the
con ustedes
IDB for
acerca
the
de la
invitation to be
inteligencia
able to talk to
artificial
you
y
about
ver cómo
artificial
Copilot
intelligence and
para
see how
Microsoft
Copilot or
365 nos puede ayudar en
Microsoft
nuestros negocios.
365 can help us with our business.
Mi intención principal al estar el día de hoy
My,
aquí
the main
platicando con
intention
ustedes,
to be
que
here
representan un
talking to
grupo
you
importante de
today, that
dueños de
is a very
negocios, tomadores
important
de
group of
decisión,
owners of business
participantes en
and
en
decision
múltiples
takers and
pymes a
stakeholders
lo largo de
from
toda la región,
multiple the
es
SMEs
hablarles
in
de cómo la
around the
inteligencia
region is to
artificial ha cambiado el
talk
panorama de
about
las empresas en América
artificial
Latina
intelligence and
y
how
cómo
it
es que
changed the
podemos
panorama in Latin
adoptarla y
America,
aprovechar sus
and how
beneficios
can
para
we adopt
solucionar
it
los
and take
problemas de
advantage
negocios
of
a los
her
cuales
benefits
ustedes se
to
enfrentan
solution
todos
all
los
the
días.
issues on the business that you have
Durante
to
los minutos que
face
estaremos aquí, les
daily.
pediría que en cada
During these
momento
minutes that
piensen,
we have to
¿qué
be
hay para
together,
mí
I
en
will
esto
request you to think,
como dueño de
what is
empresa,
for
como
me
tomador de
there as
decisión,
a
como empresario?
decision
Realmente
taker,
si
as a
logro que ustedes
company
imaginen
owner
cómo
and
lo que les
entrepreneurial
estaré
person?
compartiendo les va a ayudar
And
a ustedes, cómo
you will see
aplicaría
how the
a
things
ustedes en
that
los
I will
distintos
share with you, you will see
escenarios
how you can
diariamente sus
apply
negocios.
that in
Bueno, habré
different
logrado
scenarios
mi
that you will have
cometido.
daily
Por
and
esto quiero que a partir de ahora,
business.
si bien vamos
So
a hablar de
from
la
now on,
inteligencia
we're
artificial
going
como
to
un
talk about
copiloto,
artificial
les voy a hablar a
intelligence as
ustedes
a
como
co-pilot.
pilotos,
I'm
como
also going to
conductores de su
talk to
propio
you
destino.
as pilots or drivers of your own
Si
destiny.
bien lo que nos ha llevado hasta donde estamos el día de hoy es
What
un
it take us
proceso
to the
evolutivo de la
place where we are
tecnología,
right now is an
varios de nosotros
evolutive
nos
process
despertamos
in
el
the
30 de noviembre
technology.
del
Many of us
2022 con la
woke
noticia
up
de
on November
ChatGPT,
30th of
marcando un hito
2022 with the
importante.
notice of
Fue
a
ese
chat
día que el público en general,
GPT.
incluidos
That
ustedes,
day,
sus
in general,
amigos,
the
sus compañeros de
public, your
trabajo,
friends,
sus
your
competidores, sus
coworkers,
clientes,
your
sus proveedores,
competitors, your
aprendieron de la
clients, your
existencia de algo
providers
llamado
learned
ChatGPT.
about the existence
Estoy
of the
utilizando estas imágenes
ChatGPT,
creadas por
and
inteligencia
I'm using
artificial
these
para
images
reflejar
created
un
by
poco lo que
artificial
nos ha venido
intelligence to
sucediendo,
reflect a
en
little bit what
particular a
is
los
being happening,
empresarios y dueños de negocios.
particularly to the
Durante hacia las
entrepreneurs and
Navidades y Año Nuevo del
company owners.
2022 al 2023,
And since
ChatGPT
the
está en las conversaciones que
Christmas
todo
and
mundo
2022 and
teníamos con nuestra
23
familia, con
ChatGPTs and
nuestros amigos.
conversations that we
De hecho,
have with our
seguramente algunos de
friends and
ustedes se
family,
animaron a probarlo
and
de
many
manera
of you
individual
were
e inclusive capaz de que
motivated to try it,
intentaban ganarle a
and
esa inteligencia artificial
you
y
were trying to
demostrarle que se
win to
podía
the
equivocar.
artificial
Por ejemplo,
intelligence
le
and show
preguntábamos
them that
cosas
they
como
can be
quién es el mejor
mistaken.
bateador
And
de la
we asked
historia
them
del
like
béisbol
things like who's the
dominicano o
best
del fútbol,
bat on
etcétera, y muchas otras
the
preguntas más para ver si los respeta.
soft baseball's
Pero
history, football, many of the things. And after
le llamo
this
después de este momento
high,
inicial y
after
por lo
this initial
particularmente la
moment,
fecha de
uh,
marzo del
and
2023,
March
seguramente ustedes como
2023,
empresarios
for sure,
se
you as a
comenzaron a
company owner
preguntar
started
qué hay de
thinking,
ChatGPT para mi empresa.
what
Seguramente
is
lo empezaron a
from
ver desde una
ChatGPT for my
perspectiva
company? Maybe
distinta,
you start
no como
seeing
un
it from a
consumidor
different
final,
perspective,
sino
not
como un
as a
empresario.
final consumer,
Seguramente se
but as an
preguntaron, bueno,
entrepreneur.
¿cómo
And
esto
maybe you
puede
ask
ayudarme en mi
yourselves, how
negocio?
can this help
En
my
este momento se
business?
comienza a generar una
But at
gran
this moment, you
información.
start
Escuchamos hablar de la
generating a
inteligencia
lot of
artificial por todos
information. We
lados
start
y realmente fue
hearing
un
about
exceso
artificial
de
intelligence
información
all over,
que
and it
nos
was an
generaba una
excess of
sensación de
information
estar
that
inundados
generate
de
us
mil
a
opciones, de
sensation of
mil
being
posibilidades
flooded a
y que
bit with
realmente
options
nos
and
confundía y no
possibilities,
sabíamos
and we
por dónde
were
comenzar o
confused, and we
cómo
didn't know
podíamos
where to
avanzar en la
start or
adopción de la
how
inteligencia
can
artificial.
we start
Bueno, lo que
going
trataré
towards
de hacer a
artificial
lo largo de esta
intelligence.
presentación
So
es
what
clarificar
I'm
este
going to try to
proceso
do
para que
is
ustedes
to
puedan adoptarla y les pueda ayudar en sus
facilitate this
negocios.
process, that way you
Antes
can
que nada, un
adopt it
mensaje
to
para
help
todos
you with
ustedes.
the
Solo el
companies.
hecho de que el
First
día
of
de
all,
hoy
a
estén
message for
aquí,
all of you.
eso
Only with the fact that
los
you're
pone en
here
una
today,
ventaja
that
con respecto a sus
placed you in an
competidores y
advantage
le da una
towards your
ventaja
competitors,
competitiva
and
a
that
sus
gives you an
negocios. Y
advantage,
esto quiere
that
decir que les interesa este
competitive
tema,
advantage
que
for your
tienen
business. And
curiosidad
I
acerca de
believe
este
that
tema
you're
y quiere
interested
decir que
about
tienen
this
ganas de
topic and you have
utilizarlo en sus
curiosity and
empresas
you want to
para
use it
poder
in your
generar una
companies
ventaja
that
competitiva.
generate
Realmente por esto
advantages
mis
for towards the competitor. So congratulations. The artificial intelligence is impacting business all over dimensions. mentioned, and all the dimensions with individuals, impacts working teams in our organizations, trying to implement efficiency and communication among the teams, and of course impacts our customers, impacts the services and products that the company is offering, and it's applying to all the industries that every day we're seeing different solutions that are based in artificial intelligence, and we are talking about all finances, manufacturers, medical, commercial, etc. And so I want to invite you in a world that is full of distractions and information. Of course, during this presentation, you will try to interrupt us 7 times. So the invitation is during this next 20 or 30 minutes. Ask yourselves, what is in it for me and for my company? Think about your business and your roles as entrepreneurs and executives, as workers. Think on how the artificial intelligence can impact the growth and the increase of the income in your business. At the end, for all of us, technology is not the end, it's a medium to be our better lives and impact our business and, of course, society where we live. So I divided this presentation in 3 parts. We're going to start talking about why are we talking about artificial intelligence and why it is important, not only in the rest of the world, but here in each one of our Latin American countries. The first task, I think it's very important. We are not in front of something that starts suddenly as an innovation. It is the crowning of several decades of innovation. The artificial intelligence field and the first mathematical models are existing since the last the century. So the improvements and the capacity of competition help us to improve the machine learning process that is preceding the artificial intelligence as we know it nowadays. Probably you heard about the Alan Turing models in the 60s. In the 2015 and 2017, there was a launch of deep learning that is incorporating the capacity of making decisions based on existing data. So we pass from the show me data to take decisions based on that data. So we here are to the place where we are right now with the artificial intelligence. The message that I want to transfer is that artificial intelligence was not born yesterday. It's being evolving as a technological evolution that we are enjoying, and I'm requesting you to reduce your fear and uncertainty around this technology in your companies. The greatest majority of the entrepreneurs and owners of companies are agree that the artificial intelligence is to have a great impact, positive in the business, and 87% of the organizations think that the artificial intelligence will give us a competitive advantage. In Microsoft, we've been doing a study in 6 Latin American countries and the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, and the results are really similar. And 2025, we hope that more than 75% of the same SMEs are oriented to have artificial intelligence on the business, and probably the people that are participating, this percentage would be larger because of the event that is organized by the IDB. We can say that the adoption intention is quick growing in all the Latin American countries that you live in. But the relevance of the selection of the artificial intelligence is that the SMEs are the more of the Latin America, where they represent more than 80% of the companies with 1/3 of the they were 70% of the workforce. That's why when adopting the artificial intelligence is fundamental to ensure that the development of each one of your companies in each one of your countries and of course in all the region. And right now we are not debating about making if the companies are going to adopt or not the AI. If you can start as faster and adopt this faster at your companies, it's going to be much better for all of you. The session of Microsoft 365 make the study to measure the Copilot for the SMEs. And the study is really interesting because it's showing how in a 3-year period, this uh, estimate that the have a return of the investment that is going to be at 132% and 353%. The SMEs also can see that 16% and the increase on the sales and 16% and 20% of sales. That is really important. In consequence, the operative expenses can be reduced in 20% when we improve the efficiency and the rentability. And now something that is important is the improvement on the employee satisfaction. This is a very relevant topic. Remember when we spoke about the SMEs representing 70% of the workforce? I know that each one of you knows how complicated this is to retain good employees and because hire new employees and the process of adapting the new employees to start impacting your business. Well, when we have better tools to improve the life balance of the personnel, the AI can help you to improve 20% of the desertion and accelerate the incorporation process in another 20%. First of all, you need to be don't feel fear to adopt the artificial intelligence because it's a technology that is available and is evolving very faster. We need to adopt it and implement it. When you see at the past some other type of technology that at the beginning was adopted for the greatest corporations and there was a lot of time passing for other companies to be able to use it. The technology is democratized, and that allows that nowadays you and your companies have the same capacity that the greatest companies are having, taking advantage of artificial intelligence, and at the path of the adoption is really easy. Remember, 3 or 4 companies, 3 of each one of you that are here are going to invest in the incorporation of artificial intelligence in your corporation and are going to have a competitive advantage. Do not allow your company to be outside of this competitivity framework. Let's go back to the first question. How can I do as an entrepreneur to adopt the implementation of artificial intelligence in my company? I believe that you may be confused a little bit, but as an owner of the business, what can I do to decide how to invest in artificial intelligence? Independently of what is the revolution of the evolution of the technology that we're talking about, your priorities as entrepreneurs are not changing. Today, each one of you are making yourself questions about artificial intelligence and maybe to the digital transformation of your business. For sure, you may be asking how these technologies can affect my business. How can this affect the business model in our industry? Who could be disrupting our business model? And I believe that in the last years, we have seen several cases of disruption. And we have the example of Uber with the taxi cab industry, or Netflix with the movies industry, or Spotify with the music industry that is making CDs obsolete. But additionally, every time we see more cases around us that are showing how using technology not like an end, like a goal, but like a partner that makes the difference among our competitors because we can get more customers. and we improve our levels and we improve the services. Maybe this slide is the most important one in the whole presentation because it doesn't matter what technological evolution are we talking about. You as entrepreneurs, you need to think about your businesses and how to connect better with your customers. How can I retain them? Second, how can I empower my employees to be more productive and create more impact in my business? How can I start my operations and how can I reduce the costs, expenses? And of course, how can I innovate in my products and services and be myself in control of my own business without waiting for another company or industry that generates a disruption? The decision of the entrepreneurs and the company owners is to make these type of questions. The optimization of the operations are to retain customers, that is my goal. The answer depends, of course, in each one of you and the needs, that specific needs of each one of your business. We invite you as entrepreneurs to make yourself these questions. That way, you can identify the areas and the cases of use where the artificial intelligence can help you. No one knows your business better than you, and no one knows better than your business than you. That's why it is relevant to identify the improvement areas to be sure that your business is achieving your long-term goals that you've been establishing. Second, it is really important to have a technology counselor. Probably some of you have an internal technology department, or probably you don't have it. But in both cases, it is very important to have a conversation with your technology department and with your technology provider or your counselor in technology. If you don't have it and you don't have an internal department, in the technology department, it is very important to have this conversation with that provider, your technology provider. It is important to do an adoption for the artificial intelligence in a secure way. That I'm going to simplify this topic in two aspects. Number one is to have an data infrastructure, because there's no type of artificial intelligence without data. The artificial intelligence needs data to be able to deliver the solutions that I need to develop. If your company doesn't have a very up-to-date data infrastructure, it's going to be really hard to have artificial intelligence to help you. So if you don't have it, you need to start talking to your technology provider. The second thing is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, and since I understand you already have this speech with cybersecurity, this is key because the number of companies and SMEs that are attacked, and after an attack that can't come back to the business, that is a key. So we need to be really on top of the cybersecurity topic. This is a hyper-connected world, and our first priority, since the technology front of view, is cybersecurity, because this may allow us to do anything we want to achieve with the artificial intelligence in a very reliable and secure way without risking our operations and services, of course, on our customers. If your company doesn't have artificial intelligence solutions to help your employees to do their task, the risk is that your employees will use the public artificial intelligence to process your company data and from your company and your customers, and those data will be in the cloud to be processed by the artificial intelligence. And to place this type of data in a network is going to be really bad for your company and your customers. In Microsoft, we've been working in three levels. First of all, we've been incorporating the artificial intelligence in each one of the products and services that probably you know already, and for sure many of you are using. we call that Copilot. All the entrepreneurs and all the employees and business that are actually using Microsoft 365 actually have the option to incorporate Copilot for Microsoft 365. With Copilot for Microsoft 365, the data is not used to train the artificial intelligence models. That way, the data is going to be confidential and secure. Copilot for Microsoft 365 is using all the data that you have from different programs of Microsoft to help you working with. And this is so easy to start using it. You don't need to invest in data centers or in like gigantic investments. And this is a model that you can adopt in an immediate way. The second level that we're working at is to enable your companies with technology provider companies to learn to create some agents knowing as a Copilot agents. These are artificial intelligence solutions that you or your technology provider can easily develop and specialize for your type of industry and for the needs that the process, the internal processes that you have in each one of your companies. For this, we use some type of tools like Azure Studio or Copilot Studio. Copilot Studio is a platform that allowed us to develop the Copilot agents. And these agents are automatized with the process of the company. We can chat with these agents, for example, uh, chat with our customers and allow these agents to execute automatically some processes that are automatic without being interacting with them when they generate something. The third level we have is to support the developers and the technology developers to develop their skills and capacities to offer the update of data and the security topic that is relevant. On this slide, we can see several of the scenarios of the different industries used. Like we can see how Copilot is impacting daily the minor market, the financial services, manufacturers, the health area. And it is important to think about the goals and challenges of the business that each one of our companies has. Think about the areas where we need help, as well as the scenarios, the business scenarios where Copilot can help you to solve these challenges and these tasks. I invite you to start talking about your provider, the technology provider, to develop an artificial intelligence model based on the pillar of the cybersecurity. Third part, I'm going to talk about Copilot in Microsoft 365 and how can it help to all of us that are in this meeting. This helps me like about 3-4 hours to be more efficient, and I'm going to show you some cases where you can get help. And we're going to talk about why do we need to adopt the artificial intelligence. We spoke about how and how you as an entrepreneur may what do you have to do to adopt the model. Now I'm going to talk about you as a person, as individuals. Each one of you as individuals is going to be affected by the artificial intelligence. I'm inviting you to adopt it daily to improve your productivity and to increase the impact that you all have in your business and at work, and to improve also your private life and life at work. This is really important. In a general way, I'm going to show you 10 examples on how Copilot for Microsoft 365 is helping you to do efficiently some tasks, so like summarize meetings, summarize emails, generate creative ideas, It helps me to make a document and helps me to find some topics mentioned in old emails, chats, and old conversations and documents that I cannot remember where they are. But I said, I know I saw this document, but I don't know what it is. And I asked the artificial intelligence, and he finds it at the environment of Microsoft 365 that you all have, and it brings the information that is in a few seconds. It helps us to translate some messages, and I can say, of course, my Spanish is my first language, but I live in the States. I speak English, but not as a native person. But for my work, I need to generate a lot of emails and documents in English. And first I ask, I make them, and I ask Copilot to review them, and that it's been helping me to improve my English level. Remember that I mentioned that every artificial intelligence needs data. Copilot for Microsoft 365 is using the data that you have in your environment in Microsoft 365. He can take a look in Outlook, in Word, where you have a lot of documents, like type of products and the services that you offer. In Excel with the spreadsheets, this is the end of the timing where the only one capable to understand Excel was the person who elaborated the spreadsheet. It helps us to know what is inside the spreadsheet, and it helps us to generate new things in Excel without being a super expert in the management of Excel. Also, of course, PowerPoint. It helps us to create presentations, and kind of Microsoft Teams, that is a communication tool for chats, video, and it's a cooperation, the tool between teams and people. I could recommend that if you don't have this, please speak to your technology provider and ask him to do that demonstration. Here we're going to see some examples of how Copilot can help us. The chat topic is terrible. We were complaining before about the email messages. But the chats, I believe that there are overwhelming us because there's chats all over. One of the features that is helping Copilot with Microsoft 365 with application on Teams, it helps us to summarize and order all this information that we have in different chats and in different groups of teams that are being working in teams. It allows us to have the information and data in a confidential and secure way. It allows me to export them in a chart and generate documents from this data. And believe me, it saves a lot of time. Before I use Copilot, I can spend half an hour trying to find a topic and reviewing the old chats to find the topic. Now it takes only 2 or 3 seconds to find information. Outlook, the email. It is also something that I received like 100 emails a day, and it happens the same thing. Some occasion there's an important email that is hidden somewhere, or for sure maybe you have the experience, you come back from vacation, open the email, and you have like any 500 emails. That this is typical. You don't start with the most important. And what I do when I come back from vacation, I ask Copilot inside Outlook to give me a summary of the most important emails for me, or where I have a task or an urgent thing that I need to do. And in just a few seconds, it generates a list of the emails, but it summarized what it has inside the emails. So I can read that in a minute, and I know what to do, and I can take action on that email that are urgent. So this is the email generation. And I know that the email is used a lot internally, but you use it also with customers, with our providers, etc. And when I have to answer or write down an email, I ask Copilot in Outlook, and it helps me to write it down, and I just tell him that the topic that I want to work with on the email, and then I can add something, delete something, and then send it. The most important thing is that I can adjust the tune of the email. I can make it formal if I'm having a formal conversation with someone else, or it could be casual or concrete if I'm saying to someone that is really busy and don't have too much time to read. And of course, many of you have read an email of one of your clients or partners that wrote a complete chapter on the email, and when you open it, you said, I'm going to take more than 5 minutes to read this. That is easy. You ask Copilot to summarize that email, and in a few seconds, you know exactly what is the email about. And if you decide to read it, you can read it in detail. The other thing is Excel. As I mentioned before, I believe that everyone is using spreadsheets nowadays. I use them all the time. I'm not an expert, but I think that the financial field people are experts, but it helps me. Copilot helps me to understand the spreadsheets that they send me when I have to ask here, what is the meaning of this to the person who wrote the spreadsheet. I had to ask about data. Now I can ask Copilot to explain me about the calculation, and I can ask also to give me information of this data. If there's a person in your organization that needs to work with data, financial data, and it needs a better understanding, this is the best tool that he can have, because from a spreadsheet you can ask Excel to give Copilot new information and create a new column project in earnings and loss and everything. It's a great tool, and you don't need to be an expert programming formulas from Excel. It can help you to develop BIs that are marvelous to identify, process, and understand all data that are being generated. Copilot in Word, it is an excellent tool, because Word, it's a document that we use when we were starting working more than 30 years ago. It was like a text editor. It helps us to generate documents similar to the audio. I can request it to generate a document based on information. For example, you can imagine that I have a customer that asked me for information about my products and services, and he explained me his issues. So Copilot with Word can go and capture the need that my customer has, and based on it, he can generate a document that explains with my products and services how can he be helped, and helps the customer to solve the issues that he has. And I can control also the tone, that is it's formal, more concrete, more relaxed, and this information that is generated there, it could be exported to some other applications. From there, we can generate a PowerPoint that could be also many of you can use for presentations to your customers. You already have the document in Word where you have your services and products, so that you can ask Copilot in PowerPoint to go and take that document and generate a presentation. Believe me, in a few seconds he will generate that. And if you can go on vacation, you can go to Cancun, and you can ask Copilot to generate a PPT about 2 slides with the 5 places that you should visit in Cancun. And in a few seconds, he will generate that. On Teams, Copilot in Teams, it's a great help. Teams is a tool of cooperation that I was mentioned before. If you don't know that, ask your technology counselor to give you a presentation. Originally, Teams was born with chat. After that, we incorporated the video part, but nowadays, Teams has been evolving to be a cooperation tool. And in Teams, I can have chats with each person in an individual way, but I can also make groups that are going to be interacting together in a project. And inside that channel of that chat, I can place some documents related to the project, Excel, announce Word, PPTs, etc. I can schedule meetings and I can place a lot of information for people that is cooperating with the project. They can have access to that information. And also I can do some other things like may create channels for larger crowds of people, and so spectacular in all segments. The first time that I used it in Teams, it was a case that we had a meeting that we have every time, once a week, with the Brazil team. It is a 1 hour meeting, and the team from Brazil, they start the conversation the first 30 minutes, and at the last 30 minutes, there's another person that we start the other 30 minutes. And I don't speak Portuguese, but the first thing when I enter the room, Copilot, the first thing that asks is that you are late to the meeting. They're speaking Portuguese. He does the summary in Spanish of what they were talking, and they even suggest some of the things that I can talk to the team. And at the end of the meeting, he can summarize the meeting. I can ask him for a list of the topics that were pending on the meeting. And if there was a disagreement among the teams about the decision, I can request that and I can export all these to some other documents. Today, in all of the meetings that we are in, we activate Copilot, and no one is taking notes. That is something else that someone else was doing. This can allow you to be focused on the meeting and focus to solve the issues that they need to solve, and that's why we had the meeting for. Additionally, being able to use these tools, we have a lot of information that obviously our technology providers have access to. We have several scenarios on how Copilot can help the sales teams, helping them to decrease these hideous tasks and have more relevant tasks with their customers. But if having a CMR tool, they can use it automatically. This is a very important thing. When I'm going to have a meeting, I can ask Copilot, I'm going to have a meeting with Fernando. What topics should I have for the conversation? What priority things that should I do? And Copilot is going to find the relevant things that I spoke with Fernando and summarizes everything that I can have a discussion with him. And for me and for the sales team, I wish to have a better control of the customers and be prepared for the conversation with the customers, and in a very simple way to have information of the customers that are receiving about the products and services. In marketing, it is a great tool for marketing, not only for the cooperation thing, but and not only for topics like generating marketing content, but also to help to align the sales teams, the finances that need to be agree and the operations in marketing that they need to do. Human resources, we spoke already. We have customers that are saying that our uh, human resources team was all the time answering about the vacation task, and now I have them focused. I have a Copilot agent. I have my people from human resources center and have better data, better programs for my employees, and finances. It is a great help. Pilot for Microsoft 365 in Excel. It is excellent, and I have many other developings for the Copilot agents that can help the financial teams. In technology, if you have a technology department, that Copilot will help them also. We have several options. Obviously, they can help technology to create a plan on a project that you're implementing. And specifically, when you're implementing a technology project in your company, there's the thing of documenting the processes and procedures that you need to use. So Copilot can help you with that. And of course, there's a Copilot for security. In Microsoft, we have a lot of information from adopting scenarios, trainings, community. It's a whole library of scenarios and how to use Copilot. 11. 11 is the magic number. 11 weeks has a person to develop the habit of artificial intelligence. I'm inviting you to start doing it from the personal point of view and professional point of view. If your company already has Copilot, use it. As any other habit, it takes time to develop it. Believe me that after 11 weeks, you will adopt the best productivity and efficiency. As I mentioned before, I said between the 3 or 4 hours of time that I can use in tasks with more impact.
Esta ya lo hablé, pero no tengo repetido aquí este slide. Pero bueno,
I already talked about this slide. But if you need help in the process of transforming technology, if you want some of our experts to contact you, please take a picture of this QR code. It is a form that you just fill. It's really easy, 3 or 4 questions with your contact information, and one of our specialists can contact you to recommend several of the solutions. If you already have the technology partner, we can also can share these. And if you don't have a technology partner, we can recommend you several in your countries to have support on that. The last message that I want to give you, essentially, what we just spoke, it is summarized in this slide. Number one, please transform the enthusiasm that you have and that makes you participate on this meeting in an action plan for you and your company. In the case of your company, you are the experts on your company. Start from there. That is the use case that I'm inviting you to talk about with your technology provider or your internal technology department. Remember your role as a leader in your business, that is to identify the business case and grab it. The role that you're going to request to your technology area or your technology provider is to develop a data platform that is up to date and secure to be able to use artificial intelligence inside your companies. And the last message for you, as every other technology, and for example, like the cellular phones, as an integral part of what we do daily, we need to go through an adaptation process to adapt it to our personal life and also to adopt it in our companies. With the artificial intelligence, it's the same thing. Don't be afraid. Use it. Probably some moments that were not going to be so productive, but you need to understand how to interact interact with it. But learning process is going to go faster. Start using Copilot 365. And I want to add with a reflection. In artificial intelligence world, the question is more important than the answer. The question is the one that takes us to get a better answer. So train the way to ask these agents and these models in language. And these language models will bring you more things, more productive things. And I want to thank the IDB for the opportunity to be here with you. Thank you to all of you and your enthusiasm for the adoption and artificial intelligence in your business. At the moment that to sit down at the pilot seat is now.
Roberto, gracias a vos.
Roberto, thank you
la
very much.
despejaste sin palabras a todos.
You,
Creo que ya
we are
tenés tu club
speechless.
de fans.
I think you have a
Después de esta
fans
charla,
club,
después le tranquilito
and
los comentarios, pero
you will
bueno,
read
ya ha
all the
sido
comments
un
afterwards,
placer
and it's been a
escucharte,
pleasure to
aprendimos
hear you.
muchísimo.
We learned a
Como
lot.
dije al principio
And as I mentioned at the
AIcity y de todas las
beginning
sesiones,
of the
pero es un tema tan
cycle and all the
espontáneo y lo
session,
explicaste de
it
una
is
manera
was
muy
like a
sencilla, muy
really
amigable, y ahora todos tenemos
far
interés en
that's
ya poder
reality.
probar
And now we
Copilot.
all
Bueno, nosotros de hecho en
interested
el
to
equipo
go
ya lo
try
usamos y damos
Copilot.
fe de que es una
So
gran
we can
herramienta.
give
Así que
you
bueno,
testimony that
tenemos
this is a great
más
tool.
de 30 preguntas, desde
We
ya
have more
queda
than 30 questions,
imposible por el tiempo leer todas, pero
but
voy a
it's
tratar
impossible
de
but because
aunarlas
of the time
o
to read
dejar las
each one. So
representativas.
I want
Sí
to
hay una que
read
es muy
the
particular,
representative
pero
one.
puede representar la realidad de algunos
And
países de
this is
nuestra
one that is
región.
really particular, but could
Es
represent the
bueno, por
reality
nuestro
of
orden
many of the
momento
countries in
sin
our
conexión a
region.
internet o con conexión débil a
In
internet, donde no podemos
environment number
utilizar
5 with an
Copilot al
internet connection
100%.
where we
¿Qué
cannot use
alternativa
Copilot
brinda
at
Microsoft?
100%.
Entiendo que han
What
liberado un modelo
alternatives is
P3,
Microsoft giving
pero
us?
¿qué
I
recomendaciones en
understand that you
caso de
have a
uso ya para
P3 model, or
trabajar
what
con
recommendation
dicho
of uses
LLM?
can we
Chatbot,
have with
chat,
that
por ejemplo,
LLM
WhatsApp,
chatbot,
gracias.
Grab, WhatsApp integration? There's several options to manage that, but it's more complicated because the thing is to be connected to the internet, and I will request that person to contact me through the QR code that I presented. And in fact, I'm going to share that presentation again. There's some specialists, technical specialists that may contact that person. I will guide you perfectly fine in the process of what he
Bien,
can do.
perfecto, gracias Roberto.
Perfect,
Bueno, después
Roberto.
una
And
consulta
after
que
that,
por ahí es
another
incómoda,
question,
pero que
a little
las venimos
uncomfortable,
haciendo en todas las sesiones, que es
that
el
we've
tema
been
de la
doing in all the
protección de los
sessions.
datos
That is the
ingresados.
protection of
Les
the
pregunto,
data
bueno, ¿cuál es
that
la
is
política
being
de
entered.
Microsoft
What are
con la
the
protección de los
Microsoft
datos
policies
ingresados que
about
utiliza
data
como nutren
protection
estas herramientas,
that in
¿no?
certain way are nurturing these tools? That is a good question. Thank you for doing it. First of all, the Microsoft philosophy is that the data are from you, they are not ours. So in certain moment, your data is not going to be used to train a language model, not for Copilot or other product that we are developing. And that's why we emphasize that the adoption of the technology on the cybersecurity pillar, because cybersecurity has several aspects. And one is the attack suit, and the other one is the data that I'm using internally. If I'm very careful of any of my employees takes it to a public network and place it, then they're going to stay there in a public way. Copilot has a function that is a restricted SharePoint access. So the SharePoint typically is where we storage information, a lot of information. And in a SharePoint, you define the access level. For example, the director has access to everything, the financial director also, but there's some individuals that should not have access to the financial information or to expenses information, etc. Copilot, what it does is to identify the access level of each of the individuals, and based on that access, allows them to access only to the information that the employee can use. So, if, for example, if the employee we request Copilot to tell how much that's my boss is earning. And but if the boss says how much is my sales director earning, he would be getting the information. Whereas there's several users on the Office packages, and they're requesting, I have Office 365 activated. How can I bond it to Copilot to use it with all the Office applications? Copilot is like an app with a monthly payment. What we recommend is there are two options. You can go to the Microsoft Store and download the subscription, and you may contact a business partner to incorporate inside the licensing contract, because we have several types of licensing contracts, and depending on the contract that each one of you have, that's how we have a solution for that. If you have a partner in business, contact him, and it is really easy that to be installed, and you can use it immediately. You may contact us with the QR code, and that way we can guide you perfectly fine about this. Many of the audience asking for your contact information. Of course. Is it possible to make processes diagrams with Copilot? Yes, it is possible. And something that is really interesting, one of my customers were saying there's so many things and so many news and functions that we start working with, that the name is páginas, because there are several companies where we have a good working team of 3, 4, 5, 10 people, 50 people, and cooperation is a relevant topic. And the vision that Microsoft 365 has is precisely to foment that integration among the working teams to improve efficiency, not to create neck battles and at work. So that's Copilot working only with Outlook as a mail organizer. Yes, because it works under the environment of Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 has a Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, etc. And Copilot is in that environment of Microsoft 365 to be able to have all the information that we need to work and guarantees the security of the user. We have a Copilot user that is congratulations for the tool. It's really useful daily, and he's also requesting to make files in Excel and Word. Sometimes it allows me to have a link to download it, and I want you to tell me how is the correct way to do it. Please contact me, and when a technical representative will contact you. And now we're going to see one of the last ones. The difference between Copilot Pro and the basic. The basic is on the web. Each one of you can go to the web and have that. And then we have two, the Pro, that is for small business, and you have to pay around $20 monthly, and the Enterprise, that is for those that have a Microsoft 365 and they have business premium of some other products that we have. So the difference basically is that one is more powerful, that is the Enterprise. And unfortunately, I don't have here a slide with the differences, but I can provide it to you without any issue. Contact us with a secure code. I'm going to place it here after the session is finished, and we can have any kind of doubt about technical implementation, or if your technology technology team has any technical doubts, we can contact them with our specialist to help you to clarify and help you with that.
Bueno, Roberto, desde ya quedan
All right,
muchísimas
Roberto, there's a lot of
por resolver,
questions to solve,
agradecimientos, pero
but
sin
there's a lot of
tiempo, así que si te pido por
gratefulness,
respeto a tu
and
tiempo,
we are on time.
te
And because we
liberamos.
need
Yo
to
ahora voy a hacer
respect your
algunos
the timing,
anuncios sobre todo
we
de los
have
próximos
to
cursos,
release
sesiones
you, and I'm
oficiales,
going to give
etcétera, ya
some
cuestiones
announcement about the
más
next courses and
operativas.
about the
Así que
certificates,
de parte
things
de
that
todo
are
el
more
equipo de Conecta
operative
Américas,
from
de
all
parte creo
the
de todos
Connect
los
Americas
asistentes,
team and from all
te
the
agradezco muchísimo a
attendants to the
vos, a
meeting.
Lorena,
I
que
really
estuvo también
appreciate
haciendo
you.
el
Thank you very
soporte,
much to
y a todo
you
el
and
equipo de
Lorena that is was
Microsoft,
giving
no
your
solo por
support,
apoyarnos
and to
en
the
esta actividad en
Microsoft
concreto,
team.
sino
Thank you not
en
only for
otras que
supporting us in
previamente
this activity,
hemos
but
trabajado en
also to
conjunto.
support us in all other
Muchísimas
activities that we were
gracias, María
together.
Florencia. Gracias a
Thank
ti
you
y
very
gracias
much,
a
Maria
todos. Que
Florencia. Well,
tengan una
thank
excelente
you to
semana.
the
Gracias,
IDB, and
Roberto,
thanks to you,
saludos.
all of you.
Chao.
Thank you,
De mi
Roberto.
parte,
From my side,
nuevamente comentarles,
and
aquí estoy
again, I
compartiendo
want
mi
to mention,
pantalla.
I'm going to show you
Disculpen,
my
como digo
screen.
siempre, para aquellos
So
que ya
sorry,
hemos
as I
asistido a las
mentioned,
sesiones anteriores,
all of you that are
pero
being
bueno, nunca
here
está de más
in
compartirles el
previous
QR
sessions
a través del cual pueden acceder a las
I'm sharing your
grabaciones,
QR code that you can access to
además del mail que
have the
recibirán a diario.
recordings and the mail
Recordarles también
that you're
que
going to
en la
receive
Academia
daily.
Conecta
I
Américas
want to
tenemos
remind you
cargado
that at the
un
Connect Americas
curso
Academy, we have
que
allotted a
gestiona sobre
training course
comercio
that is
internacional de
about
inteligencia artificial, que
self-just
tiene distintos
management
módulos
and
y ustedes lo pueden ir
international
tomando
management. You can
a
take
su propio
several
ritmo.
modules at your own pace.
Por otro lado, invitarlos a
On the other
que
side, I want to
escaneando
invite you
ese
to
código
scan
QR
this
en
QR
español o en
code
inglés,
in
se
Spanish or
sumen
in
a la
English
red Teams.
and
También es nuestro
uh,
canal de WhatsApp de Conecta Américas,
join our
donde van a poder
SME's
ver en
network,
tiempo real
where
los
you
distintos
can see
lanzamientos
in
de
real
herramientas
time different
que vamos
launches
promocionando.
of tools that we are
Y
promoting.
acá se vienen los dos últimos anuncios y creemos que son los más
And the two
interesantes.
last things that
Por lo menos
I
por estos
believe that are
días,
more
contarles que
interesting on
estamos
these dates,
por
I want to
lanzar una nueva herramienta que se
mention
llama
that we are
ADA, que es un
launching a new
asistente
tool
virtual
that
que funciona
the
con
name is
inteligencia
ADA,
artificial
this
justamente,
virtual
que tiene como objetivo
assistant that has as
generar
a goal
contactos
to
y
generate
vínculos entre los
contacts
usuarios de
and
Conecta
bonds
Américas
and links between the
a través
users
de
in
lo
Connect
que
America
justamente el
through
asistente
the
detecta
assistant,
en cada uno
the
sus
text
perfiles.
in each
Entonces, bueno, si
one of
ustedes
the
están
profiles. So now
ofreciendo frutas
that you
frescas,
are offering, for example, fresh fruit,
la aplicación lo que haría es
the app
vincularlos con
is going
compradores
to
de
link
de ese
you with
producto.
some
Y a la vez,
uh,
si ustedes están
probably
tienen un
possible
perfil de
purchasers
importador
of this
y están
product. And if
buscando,
you
no sé,
have an imported
textiles,
profile and trying
ADA
to
lo que va a
find
hacer
some
es
um,
optimizar con quién
uh,
los pone en contacto en la
fabrics,
plataforma.
ADA is going to optimize it
Bueno,
and
estuvimos comentando
contact
estos
with the
días.
platform.
Esta
And as we
herramienta
were
está en una
mentioning these
versión
days, this
beta, o
tool
sea
is in a beta
que también,
version.
como venimos hablando en estos días,
And as
hay que
we were
entrenarla, hay
saying,
que
in these
generarle
days, we need to
información.
train
O
it,
sea
we
que si
need to
ustedes quieren ser
generate
parte de este
information.
test,
So if
los
you want to be
invitamos
part of
a que
this test,
escaneen el
we
QR
invite you
y
to
completen
scan
el
the QR
formulario
code and complete the
y
form.
bueno, sean parte
Be part of
de este proyecto tan
a
interesante que
project
estamos
that is so
armando desde Conecta
interesting
Américas.
that we
Y
are
acá los
building in
invito
Connect
a
Americas.
una
And here
sesión
I'm inviting you to
especialmente
a
para
session,
mujeres
especially
empresarias o
for
para empresas
entrepreneurial women or
de
companies
propiedad o
of
lideradas por mujeres.
leaders
En
by
realidad
women.
no es un evento, sí,
But
empieza con un enfoque de
this is
género, pero
an
no
event
es
with a
exclusivo para mujeres.
gender point of
Así
view,
que
but it's
la
not
idea
exclusive for
es que
women.
hablemos
The
del rol de la
idea
mujer
is
en
to
el sector
talk about
tecnológico.
the
Vamos a
woman
contar
role in the technological
con tres
sector,
mujeres
and
sumamente
we're going to have
referentes e
three
inspiradoras.
important and
Y el objetivo es
inspirational women,
fomentarle a empresas
and
de
the main
mujeres,
objective is
propiedad, perdón, o
to
lideradas por mujeres,
have
más herramientas
companies
para potenciar
leader by
sus,
women with
sus
more
negocios
tools to
y
patents
también aquellas
to
empresas
launch,
lideradas
to
por
boost
hombres que se
the
estén
business.
sumando, que
And
tengan una visión inclusiva o más
also we want
inclusiva
to have some
en sus
men that
cadenas
have an inclusive
de
uh,
valor
vision
y
on
si es
the
posible
value
contraten
chains and be
empresas
possible
lideradas
to
por mujeres
hire
en
uh,
su cadena.
companies
Así que desde
leader
ya este
by
evento se va a
women.
hacer de manera virtual el
So this
día
event is
3
going
de
to be virtually.
diciembre
and
también
December the
presencial.
3rd.
Esto es en el marco de
It's
Autoescular,
also presential,
este evento que se va a hacer
and
en Buenos Aires
among
los
the
días 4
framework
y 5 de
houses to
diciembre,
log.
así que quienes
And
estén en
it's going to be on
Argentina,
December the 25th.
las
And if you
invitamos
are in
a que se sumen
Argentina, we invite you
presencialmente en las
to
instalaciones del
join
IDEM
us
y
to
aquellos que
the
nos están
IDB
escuchando de otras partes del mundo lo pueden
facilities.
hacer
And
de
if you are
manera
from other
virtual.
parts of the world, you may join
Por
us
último,
virtually.
les adelanto la charla de mañana.
Finally,
La última
I want to
sesión del
mention
día,
the last session
perdón, de
for
este ciclo
tomorrow
que va a estar
from
liderada
this
por Mercado
cycle that is
Libre
going to be led by
y se
Mercado
titula
Libre,
Conectando
and
oportunidades,
is
el rol de Mercado
entitled
Libre y la
Connecting
inteligencia artificial
Opportunities
en el
and the Role of
crecimiento de las
Mercado
pymes
Libre on
de
the
América
artificial
Latina. Así
intelligence, the
que
growing
los
of the
esperamos
SMEs
mañana,
in
como
Latin
siempre,
America.
en el mismo
So we
horario y
hope to see you
utilizando el
tomorrow
mismo
at
link de
same
Teams.
time and using the
Muchas
same link
gracias
to connect each
y
other.
un gran
Thank you
saludo,
very
que
much
tengan
and
muy buenos días.
greetings. Have a good day.